podcast community? This is Three Questions Podcast. My name is Cam. We are on to episode number 37. Want to give a shout out to our sponsor up to episode 50. That is Howie from Ads Sciences. That is ADS Sciences. You can reach Howie at Howie, Howie, at appanite.com. That is APPANITE.com. And if you have a product or a service or a business and you are looking to advertise on Threads, if you're looking to advertise on TikTok, if you're looking to advertise on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Howie is the guy to go to. I have never seen anybody be more thorough and grow more businesses than Howie has with that. And I feel grateful to know him. He's Boston based, and I can't recommend him and his team enough. They do incredible work. More than if you tried to learn it yourself and do it that way, you would save a lot more money and experience a lot more growth faster by working with Howie. So that's all I have. I'll talk about stuff that I'm working on at the end. As you know, my name's Cam. I run ckcollective.co, and I do personalized coaching and business mentoring for entrepreneurs, people starting out. I have only male clients right now, but I do a lot of marketing and sales help in business building and then personal tactics for life on top of that. That's my intro. Hopefully you're not just jumping in here to the podcast on episode 37, but hey, all the more power to you. Let's jump in. As you know, Three Questions Podcast, 5 minutes per question, user submitted questions. Today's questions are coming from my current client, and let's hop into question number one. Question number one. These are all from a current client. Cam, where do I turn to fill my cup up spiritually? The typical place I go to is yoga or being in nature, but both are not always an option, and wanting to find other ways to supplement this in my life. Good question. Great question. Filling your cup up is one of the most difficult things to do. And for men, as I've said on multiple podcasts now, I personally believe that men are nature's most disposable resource, because men will protect and provide until our death, right? We will always innately want to serve and protect and provide for women, for children, for other men, for kids, for anybody. Okay. Most importantly is our family and our friends, right? Or our colleagues and those we work with. But filling your cup up means that you need to take time to do the things to protect and provide for yourself. And if going and doing yoga or being in nature is your thing, then I would urge you to make that a priority. Again, if that's not always an option, I just finished a book it's called Energy Management, but the book by Sarah McCrum, it's called Energy on Demand, actually. And the book is all about energy management. And the way that she goes through the process, because she is an energy coach in England, the way that she goes through the process of filling her own cup up is by tuning everything else out. And she takes time for stillness. And even if you can't go to yoga, or even if you can't go be in nature, you finding stillness in my messy room with a ton of laundry and a dog on the bed and a million different pieces of equipment all around my room right now, right? I'm not in the right frame of mind to sort of get stuff done. I wish I had a clean room. But what I did before these podcasts was I took a few moments to just close my eyes, put my hands together, cross my legs, and I just took a few moments of absolute stillness. And what that means for me is when you take time to relax and pause and let go, that will naturally fill your cup up. Okay. Our society today, American society, has trained men, women, kids alike that these quiet moments that you have of serenity, they no longer exist. What do we fill that with? We fill it with looking at our iPhone while we're waiting in line, checking out at the grocery store, right? We do it scrolling through Instagram for an hour before we go to bed. We no longer have these moments of stillness and serenity in our life. And I would urge you to make these a priority. If you have to do it 5 minutes at a time, or if you do it for 45 minutes at a time, it doesn't matter. But you finding a way to just relax, pause, and let go of all of these things that you think you have to do, that is the best way to fill your cup up. You filling your cup up by adding more things to your to-do list, like going to yoga, like making yourself go to nature so that you can hopefully feel more relaxed. Nature has its own vibrational frequency. Trees actually have their own frequency. It's 432 megahertz. And when you go and you spend time in nature, what it does is it harmonizes whatever frequency that you're operating at, closer to 432 megahertz, which is why you feel better after going for a walk in the woods. Nobody's probably ever told you that. You don't even want to know how many YouTube videos and how many books I had to read on that just to distill that one piece of information for you. But if those aren't an option for you, finding a way to let go of stuff. Okay. If you're constantly walking around all day with all these things, a bag of bricks, right, that you're just humping all around, you need to find a way to put those down, whether it be one at a time or all at once. And finding a way to just sit in your car, right? Or finding a place at work, or going to a restaurant, or going to a field, or pulling over on the highway and going down into a gulch or something and just sitting for 5 minutes. I don't care what it is, but if you can find stillness, I prefer it first thing in the morning when I wake up. I wake up in the morning and go, oh my God, I have X, Y, and Z and 32 other things to do today. If I take a tactical pause and I sit there for 10 minutes, right? And I just meditate and I just let all the random thoughts run around until I get tired, till I can get to the one thing that I know I need to do, till I can get to this sort of, hold on, getting a call. All right, where was I? Sorry, I just took a very important phone call. But what I wanted to say, I think I had about a minute left, is you need to go to the woods and you need to find a way to relax, pause, and let go of stuff. I guarantee you that you are being harder on yourself than anyone else in the world would be. And I guarantee that you are putting at least 50% of all of the stress right onto yourself. So just be conscious of how much weight you're putting on your shoulders. You're not Atlas. And if you just relax, pause, and begin to let go of some stuff by having some stillness in your day, I think that will make everything about 10 times better for you. Okay. Try it out. If you need help, I will be there for you. You can reach out all the time, especially if this is a current client. Question number two. Question number two. For someone that's never meditated before, do you have tips to put yourself in the right frame of mind to get the most out of this practice? Is it something you get better at the more you do it? So I've been meditating for probably 4 years now. I think I really started meditating. I think I did it a couple times in my 20s. I'm like, it's not for me. I don't get it. It's blah, blah, blah. I went through it. If you're one of my clients or you're listening to this podcast, I went through a very, very interesting time in my life, pretty much the week after I turned 30. Went through a very challenging breakup that definitely broke me as a person. And I had to go to the core of who I was and figure out who I wanted to be for the rest of my life. And there was a lot of good that came out of that very painful breakup. And I'm years past that now, and I found a lot of gratitude from it. But a lot of that gratitude came from introspection, right? It didn't come from rumination. It didn't come from asking why or talking about it for hours to people. It really broke me in half. And the person who I was becoming someone who I didn't recognize. And that led to the dissolution of that relationship. And it wasn't my partner's fault. She was a great person and I'll always care about her, but I was becoming someone that I felt was very out of control, right? Just I was suffering from adrenal fatigue. This is all in hindsight. And I was just very snappy and I wasn't nice to be around. And I was just very cold and like emotionless. And I thought I had to be this amazing advertising guy and Scott Ever on the weekend and badass hiking 14ers guy and doing CrossFit and doing jujitsu and running marathons and driving Jeeps and having a German Shepherd and on and on and on. Right. And my whole internet and social presence was posturing to make me be someone that I wasn't. And I was so sick of this avatar that I had become that I started to self-sabotage and I really started to ruin a lot of the things that I was doing. And for me, after that breakup, all of a sudden I had all this time and space to sort of sit there with all of these emotions and think back to all of these things that I said and who I was and what I was doing the past couple of years before that. And meditation for me it was very uncomfortable the first 6 months. And I would do it in the morning and I would do it in the middle of the day. And I was meditating for like an hour to 2 hours, pretty much with no results every single day, being like, this has to help. I heard this helps. And eventually I toned it down to, less than an hour, maybe twice. I would meditate in the morning and meditate at night. And I started doing breath work in like the middle of the day. Now I am at the point where I will get up do my business in the bathroom if I need to go. Then I'll come back and meditate. Meditation is one of the first things that I do every single day, whether it's for 10 minutes, 25 minutes, or as long as like 30 or 40 minutes some days, if I have that time. For me, meditation is a preventative medicine. It is a prophylactic for the stress that you will undoubtedly encounter in your day. And whether or not you think meditation works, I urge you to make it a practice for yourself for 3 months, 4 months. Do at least 10 to 20 minutes a day, maybe 15 minutes. And whether you want to find a guided meditation, which is where I started, and then I went to sounds, and now I do frequencies, and now I even do silence. That's my preferred way of meditation now. You can just sit there for 15 minutes, let all the demons, all the thoughts run around until they get tired. And then you're like, okay, this is what I need to do. I'm ready for the day. I'm ready to show up for my day. Don't look at your phone before you meditate. Don't respond to any notifications. Just turn that shit off or put it on airplane mode and just sit there and just let your thoughts come and go. Even if they're bad thoughts, you let them come right up to you, look you in the face, right? Yell at you, scream at you, whatever those insecurities or demons are. And then eventually what happens is those tend to get tired. And over time, those things go away. And over time, you're able to find peace. And then you're able to give yourself chills, and you're able to feel connected to a higher consciousness or a higher power. And this is really where I personally feel like I derive energy from. When I feel those chills come throughout my body when I'm meditating, I know I've gotten myself to a higher frequency, and I know that I'm more prepared for my day when I've taken that time, even if I'm nervous about the first part of my day. Like tomorrow, I have a very early morning, something really tough in the morning. I'm going to meditate before that, right? So for me, it's a prophylactic. For you, it's something that you just need to continue to put yourself there for, and the results will come. Okay. I promise you that. I'm all out of time for question number 2, but yes, you get better at meditation the more you do it, but don't be an impatient American and expect results week number 2. Okay. Takes time. I've been at it for 4 years. Now, excuse me. Question number 3. Question number 3. When do you find the most need for meditation? Well, this will be a quick one because I pretty much just answered this, but I need meditation before, not after stressful events. When I experience stress, if I have put my layer of armor on, if I have, stretched before I'm participating in the race, that to me is always preventative medicine. And I think that when you start to look at meditation as being like, hey, this is me adding another layer of defense, or me just gearing up for what's ahead of me. So many fighters do this, MMA guys, UFC guys, boxers, even Jake Paul, I'm pretty sure, will like do breath work and meditation before his stuff. So many people before these big moments in their lives, you'll notice that they take moments of stillness. And again, just like I said 5 minutes ago, it's a prophylactic. When you take time to stillness and you can visualize what you want and you can understand, what you're feeling, and you just take time to listen to yourself, you're ahead of 99% of people in the day. Because what do most people do? They wake up, they look at their phone, they take a shit, they make coffee, they run through breakfast, maybe they let the dog outside. Hopefully they let the dog outside. And then they either go to the gym and then come back, take the dog outside if you have one, or take care of the kids, or they go straight to work, right? And then they're just listening to themselves, and they're distracting themselves all throughout the day, flipping through Instagram, even on their breaks. They don't really take moments of stillness to be like, hey, how am I feeling? Like, what am I feeling? What am I concerned about? How are my energy levels today? What is the most important thing I want to do today, right? Like, how do I want to have an impact on other people? How do I want to show up for myself? When you take the time to sort of just listen to yourself, ask those questions innately, you sync your left and right brain, and you sync your subconscious with your conscious brain, and you bring a lot of things to the surface, which deepens your intuition and awareness. And that is one thing that I feel like a lot of people are missing in American society today, is having a deeper understanding of their own intuition and awareness. Because when you know yourself, you become the most powerful version of yourself too, right? And I think that if you just took moments of stillness, right? Not when you need them, but before you think you may need them, i.e. in the morning, I think that your life will greatly improve. I think everybody's life will greatly improve, and everybody that you interact with, I think their lives would improve. Because when you take the time to become a better version of yourself, you show up as a better version for other people, which does what? It brings them up too. Okay. I always say this, be a radiator, not a drain. And I think that, if you take the time to really just do this before you need meditation, I think that's when you're going to see the difference. So I hope that helps. I'm going to stop the question there. That's all I have for episode number 37. I am away right now, so if you're sending me some emails, I will respond to you in a couple weeks when I get back. I just launched Artemaya. That is ARTIMAIAH.com, artemaya.com. A bunch of cool canvas and metal prints. I'm also doing digital files and NFTs on an Etsy shop. So if you want to learn more about that, e-commerce, drop shipping business, pretty unique stuff. I think it's badass. You can support the podcast by going there and signing up, or just keep submitting questions, keep listening. I obviously look at the stats, and I appreciate everyone thus far. So if you want to be a guest too, drop me a line. We'd love to have you on, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.